Hey guys, little bit of a rant today. Just wanted to talk about a couple things. Um, I guess context is important. Some of you know, until recently, I was part of a online group, and the whole idea was to educate people about lifting, kind of encourage them, get them started, and answer any questions that they had. And for the past couple weeks, the past month, there had been a trend where people would respond with just kind of biased and not even really researched answers. They would just kind of respond with what they had done at the time that had maybe worked a little bit, or as an exception to something and not necessarily the rule. And so you had another camp which was saying no, like that's not exactly true. That can work in certain given situations, but for the most part, the science is this XYZ thing, which resulted in a fair amount of bickering. To be fair, but one of the most prevalent claims was that carbs, carbohydrates were the enemy. Just that they were bad no matter what. Hands down, they were just horrid, that you don't want carbs. Carbs are bad. Carbs make you fat, which is not necessarily true. I mean, an overabundance of anything will contribute to the creation of adipose tissue. However, carbs themselves are not bad. And I don't want anyone out there to think that you have to avoid carbs to lose weight, because it's not true. Do you need to watch your daily caloric intake? Yeah. Do you probably need to track your macros a little bit? Yeah. But I mean, that's something of a given. And so there are programs out there. There's ketogenic programs, keto gains, Atkins, whatever. Lots of low carb options. And if that's the route you want to go, then go ahead and study or research the program. Look up information. Look for peer-reviewed, scholarly articles about low-carb programs, because they're out there. They are, and they aren't hard to find. And as long as you're going into those programs educated about what you're going to be doing, fine, cool. I hope it works for you. I wish you the best of luck, and keep us posted with progress pictures. But on the other hand, what a lot of I mean, the most common thing is not keto. I mean, keto does work, and it seems to be gaining popularity in the last year or so. I mean, just from what I've seen, I understand I'm not the end all be all. So, you know, but for a lot of people to understand just why carbs are important, and so they, I guess I'll just kind of explain what my understanding is and why I keep them in my diet. Maybe at a lower amount depending on if I'm trying to cut weight, or more if I'm trying to build up strength or size. But carbs are a more easily utilized energy source than, say, protein or fat might be. And depending on like where on the glycemic index it is, just the quality of the food that you're eating, kind of that kind of thing will affect kind of how carbohydrates affect you. And as well, a lot of people don't realize that carbohydrates have a protein sparing effect, meaning that while you will get 4 calories for energy out of carbs, the same as you'll get out of protein, that protein, you need to be synthesized and utilized for muscle, growth and recovery. And so if you have an adequate amount of carbs, the carbohydrates will go ahead and take care of the energy needs, the refueling of the muscles with glycogen, and allow the proteins to be synthesized into greater, into the muscle for growth and recovery. And so if you have inadequate amounts of carbohydrates, your body will then turn to your protein sources for energy, which may result in slower recovery, possibly slower gains, which, I mean, I don't think any of us want. We all want to make as many gains as quick as possible, right? So that's just something to think about. And as well, what a lot of people don't realize is that the amount of muscle you have will kind of help influence your metabolic rate, because muscle, simply by existing, takes up a set amount of calories. So the more of it you have, the more you burn just by existing. And if you are not consuming adequate carbohydrates and your body is turning to your protein sources and possibly your muscles and going, I believe the term is catabolic or catabolism, where it breaks down the muscle for energy, then it could negatively impact your metabolic rate. And this is often seen in strict restriction diets where people just cut tons of calories too fast and end up, they drop a lot of weight, but then they end up stalling out because they have slowed their metabolism. And so I think that's just one of those things that you kind of have to understand. And if you take nothing else away from this video, just please understand that carbs are not the enemy. Carbs aren't inherently bad for you. I mean, yeah, if you're overloading on sugar, then you should probably watch that. Watch out for your cholesterol. God knows what else. Everything kills you these days. But don't buy into the crap about carbs being evil and carbs being the only reason you gain weight. Like, if you have changed all of your eating, yet you still have like one soda. If you're at a caloric deficit and you're still having one soda, that sugar is not going to necessarily have the power to make you gain more weight. I mean, there's that gets into kind of the glycemic index and insulin release and possible cortisol and whatever else. But I mean, by the simple thermodynamic calories in, calories out, that soda is not going to mean one thing one way or the other if you're at a caloric deficit. All right, so just study, be smart, learn about what it is that you're doing with your body. Look for the resources to tell you, the science behind what you're doing, why it works. Okay, don't just buy into what some guy on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube says. Don't just take my word for it. Go look it up. If something I say or something anyone says sounds kind of sketchy or maybe too good to be true, look it up. There's plenty of resources. You have the internet at your fingertips. I mean, you literally do right this second if you're watching this. So there's no excuse not to educate yourself on what you can do. And so that's two things. Take two things away from this. Carbs aren't your enemies. Educate yourself. All right. So that's it for now. I've rambled on long enough. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're healthy, and hope you keep with it. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.